What's up, guys? This is Kyle from Wax Museum, and I am just finishing up leg one of what I'm going to call my national replacement tour. And if you listen to the audio podcast, you might remember that I decided, instead of going to national this year, the logistics are just kind of messy. I thought I could swing a trip to Indiana and then also to Dallas in July for maybe around the same cost, maybe a little bit more, but not too much. So the Indiana show, as you can see here, is called the Midwest Monster, and it's a 350 table card show in Fisher. So I was really looking forward to that. In addition to going to that card show, Indiana has its perks because I do have family there. So, it only makes sense. Here's my nephew Grant shooting a basketball. Got to spend a lot of time with him. So that was a lot of fun. One of my goals for this video is to try and narrate things as I experience them. So if some things seem, intermittent or choppy, just remember I'm trying to give you the experience in the order that I had it. So maybe you can live vicariously through me and all of the stuff I was able to see. I went to the Midwest Monster Show on Friday, and I met up with my friend Steve, who goes by the handle Vintage Pacers. Before we even went to the show, we made a trade. And this is us at a Taco Bell table here, kind of showing the cards off. These are the two Danny Grangers that I gave up. They're cards I liked, but the cards that I got in return, or the card I got in return, is something that I really wanted. It's this triple autograph from 2005-2006 of Danny Granger, Sarunas Jasikevičius, and Ron Artest, all on-card signatures. Ron Artest just does not sign a lot for the really on-card stuff. And then Pacers, he barely had any autographs. As with any exchange that Steve and I make, there's usually a pile of extras that goes along with it. So here's what I got. You just saw Fred Jones Topps Total printing plate. You see this Miles Turner Select Blue Prism. And then he also got me a 2016 Prism Silver Miles Turner for my binder. And then this Cassius Stanley Yellow Flood. From there, it was on to the Best Choice Fieldhouse for the Midwest Monster Show. You can see there was a line getting in. We really didn't have to wait that long, though, so I can't complain about that. There was a bit of a walk, but it was good to get some steps in. Once you got inside, you can see the setup here. It was like basically 4 gym floors put together. Then there were some bleachers in the middle if you wanted to sit and make some trades or kind of sit and relax. It was nice to have that seating because you don't have that at every show. So we didn't spend a lot of time seated, though. We went ahead and started moving. You can see here's one of the first tables that we looked at. At this table was a patch card of John Havlicek that Steve pointed out to me. He said, "Hey, did you see that?" I hadn't seen it yet, so I went and grabbed it. I got it early. I didn't want to spend a whole lot right when I got in the show, but sometimes with this stuff, the best time to buy it is when you see it. And I'm glad I did because I talked to several people later on that also wanted that card. As far as, what is my purpose at this show, I kind of had several reasons. One, to pick up PC cards just like the one that you saw. 2, I like to look at nice things. And then 3, I like to meet up with people. So this show provided opportunities to do all 3 things. Here's another card that I picked up, this Tom Brady jersey card. And yes, I know it has Brian Greasy on it, but as you can see on the back, the jersey swatch was actually from Tom Brady. That was tucked into a box. It was tucked into a box really tight. I got it for $15. It was in those snap cases. I guess people didn't see it. As for seeing cards that, I don't always get to see, there's some Cons Wieners cards in the corner there. This was a cool little vintage case that had different oddball cards. It had some modern stuff too, but just overall a nice mix of stuff.
Hey guys, this is Scott. You might remember he came on the show not long ago. He's with the Dropping Dimes Foundation, Atlanta Sports, and they just happen to be set up here at the show. So I wanted to show you guys this stuff here real quick.
My partner and buddy, John Abrams, is also with Dropping Dimes Foundation, my co-founder.
All right.
Yep, hello.
And they're both here selling some merchandise and trying to get the word out. So I appreciate everything they're doing, and hopefully we're pretty close to getting this pension for these ABA guys.
Well, as you can imagine, I was really happy to run into Scott at this show, especially after interviewing him. So it wouldn't be a good card show vlog if I didn't show you some cards that made me jealous. So you just saw me zoom in on a Kobe Bryant patch that had a piece of the NBA Finals trophy. And then here's another guy I've kind of tried to collect lately is Bill Russell. A nice multicolor, exquisite piece for him. There's just not a lot of good memorabilia out there for him. And then this whole case here, there's a trio in the middle with some guys you might recognize. There's, if you want to add KG on, there was a quad there as well. But then this case is more my style, because at the very top there were a few Reggie Millers in there, not the ones that you can see, but the ones that were just in the case. And somebody prior to coming to this case had told me that seller has some Reggie Miller stuff behind the showcase. So he didn't really have it out. I asked him if he had some more Miller stuff. He was kind of hesitant. I twisted his arm a little bit, and he pulled out this Zion case with just an incredible Reggie collection featuring that scripted swatches that you see right there. That's the nicest piece I've seen. It's also the only gold piece I've seen. I wasn't able to wrestle any of the real nice Reggie stuff from him, but I did get this finest refractor that I needed for my binder. I've wanted to grab one of these in person because a lot of them are very green. The color on this one's pretty good. He gave me a fair price. I think I got it for 40 bucks. So I definitely can't complain about that. Overall, I only picked up a few cards at this show, but I set out what I intended to accomplish. I met up with some people. I grabbed some PC cards. I saw some real cool stuff. The venue was pretty good. The price was good. This is a show, if they have it again and I'm available and the logistics work out, it's something that I definitely think I'm going to try and attend again. I know they're doing it again in October. I won't be at that one, but maybe next year, maybe next summer. So that was the end of my time at the Midwest Monster, but not the end of my time in Indiana. I made sure to add a couple extra days on because, as I mentioned, I wanted to visit family, got to visit with my sister and brother-in-law and my nephew and some aunts and uncles, so that was a real good time. We did all sorts of fun things. We went to the zoo. We also went to a WNBA game, to an Indiana Fever game. I've never been to a game before. I've watched some games on TV, but this was certainly a new experience for me. One of the reasons I wanted to do this was because they've been kind of displaced from Gainbridge Fieldhouse while they're doing remodeling there. So even though the floor here says Gainbridge Fieldhouse, they were actually at the Indiana, I guess you call it the Farmers Coliseum, or it used to be called the Fairgrounds Coliseum. But that's where the Pacers played their ABA games in the 70s. So I was really hoping they would have something in the venue that kind of talked a little bit about the Pacers and talked about the history, save for maybe one big poster that I saw. There really wasn't a lot of stuff there, but it was still a nice venue for a basketball game. We had some pretty close seats. I didn't take a lot of video there, and it really filled out. It was a pretty packed house, but it was actually the best Fever game that I've ever seen. I know it was my first one live, but I'm including on TV. Went down to the end, so that was a lot of fun. So there you have it. That was just a quick recap of my trip. I'm going to do a more detailed one on the audio podcast this Thursday, but I wanted to give you some visuals that go with it. Some nice cards here. You see a nice koozie auto, but overall a great trip, and I appreciate you watching.